Very good morning, students. Today we are all going to learn. You are all going to learn electronic payment systems, chapter 16. In the previous chapter, you have learned what is e-commerce. What are the points are there in e-commerce? In e-commerce. So, e-commerce it is the process of buying or selling products through online. That is what known as e-commerce. And this chapter will gives you after buying or selling the products from online or through online, how we can pay the money for the products, or while getting or while buying or selling the products, how we can pay the money or how we can get the money through online. That is what this chapter going to gives you. So first of all, on those days people have paid the money for the products, for an item, by cash, by directly to the vendor. But now, after the invention of computer and computer networks, the payment system also has been changed. That is what you are going to learn here. Everyday people buy or sell goods and services for money only. Money becomes the major medium of exchange. Later, some payment systems were developed. After that, to pay the money, some payment systems has been developed out of need to facilitate the growth of commerce and economic development. And some media has been used for transferring the money. Some media has been used for transferring the money from one account to another account. And the value of money is very diversified diversified, ranging from the use of simple payment instruments to complex payment instruments. Simple payment instruments, it is nothing, paying the money through cards. This is what called as simple payment instruments. Complex payment instrument, it is nothing but using, if you are using cryptocurrency, that is what known as here complex payment instruments. As the volume of variety of transaction as the volume and variety of transaction expands, the volume of money also expands. Because of many electronic payment systems are there, so that the volume of money also expanded. To transact the money from one person to another person, or one person to another company, or company to person, for the classifications of e-commerce models, bank supporting us, or bank supporting to the people to transfer the money from one person to another person, or one bank account to another bank account. Nowadays, banks offering cashless society has been discussed for a long time, and now the bank is also offering cashless society. So next one, we are going to see what is meant by electronic payment. So the term electronic payment refers to a payment made. The term electronic payment refers to a payment made from one bank account to another bank account using electronic methods, foregoing the direct intervention of bank employees. Without the direct intervention of bank employees, we are not able to transfer the money from one account to another bank account. You know very well, because as 2K kids, you have buy lot of things from or through online, and afterwards you are also uh, very familiar how to pay the money for the products. And we can pay money for the products through internet banking or mobile banking, online banking, or credit card, or smart card, or through our debit card. These are all the ways to pay the money for the products, and we are able to classify the payment methods, electronic payment methods into two types. One is micro electronic payment system, second one is macro electronic payment systems. Based on the value of money transactions, processing time, processing requirements, security issues, and usability electronic payment systems, these two methods has been classified. The first one, micro electronic payment systems. It is an online payment system designed to allow efficient and frequent payment of small amounts. You can use these micro electronic payment systems for transferring small amount from one bank account to another bank account. In order to keep transactions cost very low, the communication and computational costs are minimized here. Unlike macro electronic payments, which is expensive public key cryptography, micro electronic payment are relaxed by using lightweight cryptography primitives and offline payment verifications. While using macro electronic payment system, it uses high high expensive cryptography method. Here cryptography is nothing but for transferring the money through macro electronic payment system, they are using very high security level. Here, unlike, I mean, in micro electronic payment system, they are using very low security level only for transferring the money from one place to another place. As the security of micro electronic payment system is comparatively low, it could be tempered, but it could be tempered is nothing but tempered means it can be uh, what hacked by the hackers. That is what tempered. But the cost of a fraud is much higher than the possible value to be gained by fraud itself. So the security in micro electronic payment methods is considered to be adequate. The majority of micro electronic payment systems were designed to pay for simple goods on the internet. Examples: subscriptions of online games, read journals, listen to a song, or watch a movie online, etc. These are all comes under micro electronic payment systems. In general, the parties involved in the micro online payments are customer, service provider, and payment processor. Here, micro electronic payment, it is nothing. Through micro electronic payment, we can transfer small amount of money. That is the first point. The second point is to transfer the money through micro electronic payment, they are using very low level security only. This is the second point. And the examples of micro electronic payment systems are subscriptions of online journals, games, read journals, listen to a song, music, etc. These are all comes under micro electronic payment systems. While transacting money from one bank account to another bank account through micro electronic payment systems, many persons have been involved. I mean parties. The parties are customer, because customer is going to pay the money for their service, and who is providing the service, that one could be known as service provider and payment processor. Payment processor is nothing but through which medium I'm going to pay the money, that method is known as payment processor. The micro electronic payment transactions can be explained in the following way. Step 1, customer proves his authentication and payment processor issues micro payments. First of all, we have to authenticate our uh, we have to give our details. For example, if you're having a bank account, if for that bank account, if you're having a internet account or online account, online banking, for that they gave user ID and password. First of all, we have to give that, and after that we have to intrude into our bank account. And after giving the details, the payment processor, which means the bank, uh, the particular bank will give facility to transfer the amount to the vendor. The second step is customer pays the micro payments to the online service provider and gets the requested goods or services from them. And through the payment gateway, we can pay the money to the particular account, and after that, after paying the money, we can get the service or we can get the goods from them. This is the second one. The third one is service provider deposits micro payment received. Service provider is nothing who is giving service or goods to us. That person could be known as service provider. Deposit money to their bank account, and after getting the money, they will send the goods to us or service to us. This is the third step, and these are all the way to pay the money and getting or buying the goods from a particular company or particular shop through online. And next one is micro electronic payment system works on the basis of simple cryptography methods. The cryptography methods are hash chain based micro electronic payment systems, hash collisions and hash sequences based micro electronic payment systems, shared secrets keys based micro electronic payment systems, and the fourth one is probability based micro electronic payment systems. These are all the cryptography methods to transfer the money of micro electronic payment systems from one bank account to another bank account. Next one is macro electronic payment system. Macro electronic payment system supports payments of higher value. With the help of macro electronic payment system, you can pay huge amount of money from one bank account to another bank account. This is what known as macro electronic payment system. And the security requirements are more rigorous and in macro payment systems because of huge money transactions. And here in macro electronic payment system, the security, the cryptography method is very high, and they are using very expensive cryptography method to transfer the money from one bank account to another bank account, because of the transaction of huge money. And the macro electronic payment systems has been transacting in different ways. The ways are card based payment systems, second one is electronic account transfer, third one is electronic cash payment systems, fourth one is mobile payment systems and internet payment systems. And nowadays many persons or many people, they are transacting the money to the service provider or vendor through CAD, card based payment systems only. And through card based payment systems, bank and some companies, they are giving a plastic card to the user, which means to the customer. And in that plastic card, instead of the bank details, the customer details has been given. And for that, for the card, they will give a number and they will give yeah, what, something like that, card number, 16 digit card number, and they will give a secret number also, ccv number also for transacting the money from one account to another account. So nowadays 90% of online payments are card based payments only. At the same time, other e-payment methods are also gaining importance nowadays. Based on the transaction settlement methods are there, three widely used card payment systems. They are credit card based payment systems, and this would be known as pay later. Debit card based payment system, this would be known as pay now. And next one, stored value card based payment systems, pay before. And these are all the three different types of card based payment systems. First one, we are going to know credit card. Credit card is an electronic payment system normally used for retail transactions. Credit card would be used for retail transactions. A credit card enables the better to buy goods or services from a vendor based on the cardholder's promise to the card issuer to pay back the value later within an agreed interest. Bank offering credit card based on our transactions in our bank account. If you are maintaining a Pakka transaction, they will offer a credit card, and with the predefined money value, for they will give a credit card for you, and for that defined money you can buy the things from anywhere within the country, and after that we have to pay the defined money, how much of money we have utilized, how much of money we have used from the credit card. For that we have to pay with the agreed interest. This is what known as credit card. For that only they are telling credit card is as well as called as pay later, because we can purchase the money with the defined money. For that money we have to pay with the agreed interest later. A credit card is different from a debit card, where the credit card issuer lends money to customer instead of deducting it from customer bank account instantly. If you are using debit card, instantly they will deducting money from your bank account. If you are using credit card, they will never deducting money from your bank account. This is what the difference between credit card and debit card. The term credit card was first mentioned in 1887 in the sci-fi novel Looking Backward by Edward Bellamy, and he is the first person mentioned the name credit card in a sci-fi novel. The novel name is Looking Backward. The modern credit cards concept was born in USA only, because in 1920s when private companies began to issue card to the customers in 1920s to purchase goods and services through online. And next one is what are the advantages are there using credit cards. First advantage, most credit cards are accepted worldwide. Most of the credit cards has been accepted worldwide. Next one is it is not necessary to pay physical money at the time of purchase. If you are using credit card, they will give a predefined money value for that card, so that no need to pay physical money. Physical money is nothing, cash, hard cash. The customer gets an extra period to pay the purchase. And next one is depending on the card there is no need to pay annuity. Next one allows purchases over the internet in installments. Because of using credit card you can pay the money through installment also. Installment is nothing but by the months, or um, an a year, or by a month you can pay money for your product. Next one is some issuers allows round up the purchase price and pay the difference in cash to make the transactions easy. To make the transaction easy, some issuers allows round up method, the purchase price and pay difference in cash also. Next one is key players in the operations of credit cards, and who are all playing roles, who are playing key roles in the credit card. First one is bearer. Bearer is nothing but the card holder is known as bearer. Who is getting the card from the bank? That person is known as bearer. The holder of the card, credit card account, who is responsible for payment of invoices in full or a portion of the balance. If I am a customer, if I am getting a credit card, I am the bearer. and I am the responsible for the payments of invoices for my card, full or portion of money. I can purchase product for the entire money or a portion of money. And next one is merchant, storekeeper, in for which shop I'm going to use my credit card. That would be known as merchant. That would be known as merchant, storekeeper or vendor. And he is the one who is going to get money from me through my credit card. Next one is acquirer. Merchant's bank is the responsible for receiving payment. To receive the money or to receive the money from the merchant, a bank account is need. That bank account is known as, or that merchant bank is known as acquirer. Because of a merchant send authorization request to the issuing bank through the appropriate channels, and they will have a swipe machine. Acquirer will have a swipe machine for the particular bank, and the money which was transacting by me, that will be goes to that particular merchant's bank account. That bank account is known as acquirer. Second, and the fourth one is credit card network. Who is providing the credit card? That particular company is known as credit card network. Master, Visa, Rupee, and these are all known as credit card network, because a single bank not able to give credit card or debit card for a huge number of customers, so that they will give a contract to different credit card networks. That credit card networks will give credit card to the customers, and instead of the bank details, they will print their customer details, bank account number, because if it is a debit card, they will give a number, they will give a CCV number. For credit card also they will give a CCV number and what name of the customer would be printed on the card, and number for the credit card, everything has been printed on the credit card. And this is the fourth key role. And next one is issuer, bearers bank, who is issuing the card to the customer. Even though credit card network giving the cards to the customer, they are not going to issue the cards directly to the customer. First they will distribute the cards to the bank, and that particular bank is known as here issuer. And after receiving the cards for the customer by the issuer from the credit card or card network, and they will issue to the customer, they will issue the card to the customer with set of limit purchases, decides the approval of transactions, issue invoice for payments, charges the holders in case of default, and offer card linked products such as insurance, additional cards and reward plans. These are all the details given by the issuer, which means bank. Next one is anatomy of a credit card. Here anatomy is nothing but post-mortem, and they are going to give details about a credit card. All payment cards including debit card were usually plastic cards. The size of the card is 85.60 millimeter width and 53.98 millimeter height, and every card is a rounded corners. Every card has rounded corners with a radius of 2.8 mm to 3.48 mm, and the thickness of the card is 0.76 mm. The standard dimensions of mentioned here. The standard dimensions are mentioned universally in accordance with ISO IEC, and this is the ISO of every card. And first one is publisher. In the card, see here, bank name, and this would be known as publisher, who is giving the card to the customer, that could be known as publisher. Yes, emblem of the issuing bank, and in this place they may be print their bank name, or else instead of the bank name they will print emblem of the bank. Next one is 2. 2 is the number for the credit card. Whenever you are going to transfer the money from one bank account to another bank account, you have to print the, or you have to type the 16 digit unique identification number, and for each and every customer they will give different 16 digit number, and from the 16 digit number we are going to separate some parts of the number, and each and every parts of the numbers has unique identifications. The first digit of the credit card number is major industry identifier. It identifies the issuer category. For example, if it is 1, airlines, if it is 4, banks. See, first one is a 1, first number is 1, so that it is a airlines. If 4 is there, that could be known as bank. Next 5 digits uniquely identify the issuing organization, and from 2, 3, 4, from 2 to 6, these 5 digits uniquely identify issuing organization, which bank issuing the card to the customer. And next one is the first 6 digits together called from 1 to 6. From 1 to 6, the first 6 digits together called issuer identifier number, IIN, or bank identification number. Next one, the next 9 digits are the account number. Next 9 digits are the account number of your bank account. The last digit is a check digit based on LUN algorithm. The last 6 digit is the last digit is the check digit based to the LUN algorithm. Next one, the third one is name of the card holder, who is holding the card, who is maintaining the card. Third person name should be there. Next one is EMV chip. Nowadays, this is what called EMV chip. Nowadays, all the banks are issuing EMV chip based chip based card only to the customer. It is integrated chip in addition to the magnetic stripes to store cardholders information. In this chip only they are storing the details of or informations about the cardholder and the company and everything. Second one is RFID symbol. Second one is RFID symbol. This Wi-Fi symbol is known as RFID symbol. RFID symbol, which is the curved lines radiating rightwards, similar to a tilted Wi-Fi symbol. It indicates that it is a contactless smart card. If a card has this symbol, RFID symbol, that card has been known as contactless smart card. And the sixth one is expiration. See here, validation up to the month and year, that has been printed as a sixth detail. So, and next one is logo of the network, logo of the card network companies. Here instead of this one, Rupee, Visa, Master, or something like that giving. instead of this logo. And next one is hologram. Hologram is a security feature that prevents duplication. It is a three-dimensional image formed by the interference of light beams. This is what known as holograms. The hologram is nothing, the impression of this EMV chip is giving here. While inserting the card, it has been read by the light waves. And next one is CCV number. The 456 is known as the 10th one is signature. Here you have to signature here. If you are giving e-signature to the bank, they will print your e-signature here. If you are not giving your e-signature, you have to get, or you have to give, you have to signature sign your signature here. And next one is 11th one. This is what called as CCV number. The expansion of CCV number, CVV number or CCV number, code verification code. Sorry, card verification code. It is a three-digit signature. It is a three-digit number, and while transacting money from one bank account to another bank account, you have to give your CCV number. Apart from this, mentioned, each credit card may also hold as issuers, disclaimers, address, phone number, everything. So next one is debit card. We can use the debit card, we can use the ATM card as a debit card. For maintaining the account from a company, from a bank, they will offering a debit card. Debit card also, the size and everything of debit card also looks like a credit card. And generally debit card functions as ATM cards and acts as a substitute for cash. The way of issuing debit cards and credit cards is generally the same, but unlike credit cards, payments using a debit card immediately transfer from the card holder's designated bank account to the service provider account. And debit card, it is nothing, instead of paying hard cash, we are going to pay the money through the debit card. That is the difference. And after paying the money through debit card, immediately they will deduct money from our bank account. The debit card and credit card are identical in their physical properties. We are not able to identify the credit card as well as the debit card unless the name has been printed like credit card or debit card. It is difficult to differentiate two by their appearances unless they have the termed credit card or debit card printed. Currently, there are three ways of processing debit cards transactions: EFT OPS, EFT POS, also known as online debit or PIN debit. The second way is offline debit. The third way is electronic POS card systems. And the third one, the third card is stored value card. In stored value card, preloaded, amount is preloaded on the card. For that card, for that money, you are able to purchase items from the service provider or from the shop. See here, the worth of this card is 500, worth of this card is 100, and worth of this card, third one is 550. So like this, preloaded amount has been printed on the card. It is just like as a coupon. How we are how we are buying recharge card, top up card for our mobiles. Like this, we have to get cards from the shops or from the bank, and we can use the card for purchasing the items, for purchasing goods, and it is also known as a gift card. It is a card that has default monetary value. Monetary is nothing but money value onto it. The card may be disposed when the value is issued or recharged to use it again, and we can dispose the card, or we can recharge the card and we can use it again and again. The major advantage of stored value card is that customers don't need to have a bank account to get prepaid cards. It is just like a prepaid cards. We are going to buy the cards. We are not going to buy the cards. We are not going to get the card through a bank account as a stored value card. Instead of that, we are going to buy the stored value card, so that no need to have a bank account to have a prepaid cards. And there are two varieties of stored value card are there. One is closed loop, single purpose. In closed loop cards, money is metaphorically stored on the card in the form of binary coded data. Closed loops cards are issued by the specific merchant or merchant groups and can only be used by to make purchase from a specific place. If Femina shopping mall is there in Trichy, if Femina, you are getting stored value card through Femina shopping mall, you can purchase the things from Femina shopping mall only. That is what known as here closed loop. Open loop is nothing. You can purchase wherever you want. That is what open loop. It is also called as prepaid debit card. The open loop card is also known as prepaid debit card. It can be used anywhere the branded cards are accepted. So next one is smart card. The modern version of card based payment is smart cards. Smart cards, along with the regular features of any card based payment systems, holds EMV chip. Nowadays all smart cards are having EMV chip, which means contactless smart card. The chip is similar to well-known SIM. The appearance of the appearance of the chip is a very looks like a chip. SIM, but differ. The SIM card is different from EMV functionalities. The advantage of smart card is that it can provide identification of the customer, authentication, data storage, and application processing. Smart cards can be classified into two types. One is contact smart card, second one is contactless smart card. Contact smart card have a contact area approximately 1 square centimeter, comprising several gold plated contact pads. These pads provide electronically connectivity only when inserted into a reader. If you are using a contact smart cards, you have to insert the card into the ATM or anywhere, or a swiping machine. If you have a contact smart cards, it doesn't have RFID system. If you are having contactless smart card, it has a RFID system. And if your card is a contactless smart card, no need to insert. RFID reader should be there, and just no need to insert your card, just you can show the card to the RFID reader. After showing the contactless smart card to the RFID reader, they will get the information from the card. And students, I hope you all understand the concepts very well. If you have any doubts, please make a note of it while watching the video. Don't skip the video. Thank you all.